All right, today is May 25th. This is episode 37, and I'm getting ready to sand with my inline sander on this short strand fiberglass I put on last night. So I take care of that. Next thing I'm gonna take care of, actually I already did this. I'll put a second coat on it, but this is the rust encapsulator from Eastwood I'm putting on the back side of this panel before I weld the inner wheelhouse to it, as well as down here. I need to do the frame and stuff too, so I'll go ahead and take care of that while I'm in there. But and then I've got to put some, as mentioned yesterday, I've got to put some short strand, or not short strand, but the fiberglass and resin, fiberglass cloth and resin on these areas here. And then I think after those things are done, I'm going to go ahead and do the body bushings because they're easily accessible. There's one back here. There's one right there that's not even there because I put new floor in. There's one right there, and then right there. So I'll take care of those four anyway. There's some others. I think there's like 2 or 3 more in the front, radiator support or something. So, all right, here we go. All right, got this sanded down, and I wanted to explain something that is important when sanding, if you don't already know this. So to feather the edge in, you kind of focus on the outer edge of the body filler, and I usually tilt my sander a little bit, maybe, I don't know, about that much. I don't know if you can see that. About that much to get the edge. And then once I get it, the whole edge around that area feathered, then I go back over it flat all around the area. And that basically precludes any possibility that you would see those disparities, you know, when the paint goes down. But you're gonna have primer on there long before that anyway. It would just keep you from sanding through the primer to try to deal with it then. But so feather the edges and then sand down flat. At this point, this panel, I'll have to look it over real closely, but it's going to be almost ready to put a coat of 2K primer on. And then I can begin finding out where the low spots are by block sanding. So, all right, moving on. All right, I got this repair patch welded in, and now I just got to grind those back smooth and see what it looks like. There we go. All right, that's done. So turned out pretty good. I'll put some not short strand, but I'll put some fiberglass resin and cloth on the welds like I've done on the others, just to kind of seal up any area that might have a little hole peeking through, and that'll serve to reinforce it as well. So actually, first what I'm going to do is draw my holes that I got to drill out for the actual tire carrier bracket. Here we go. All right, right here I'm welding the this tab against the rear panel there, because that's the thing that supports the this part gets welded to the inner fender well, But this is what has a cable on it that when the tailgate is lowered, this is what supports that. So here we go. I got those drilled, so hopefully those are where they're supposed to be. I tried to match the panel that I cut off as best as I could to that. So if it's off, it's not by enough to matter probably. Anyway, and got this welded back here, so that'll be nice and tight there. So now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put some fiberglass resin and cloth over the weld seam just to close it up and add some extra support as well. All right, I wanted to show this. You can see how this was stress cracked. That's cracked there. And it was even cracked here at the top, which is why I ended up taking an additional amount out. But yeah, that was not very good to have that in there. So that should be an improvement. All right. I mentioned in the last episode that this replacement panel for the this is the driver's side rear quarter panel. It's put out by Key Parts, but it's not the same part that I ordered through Quadratech. You know, this one here had the B pillar and everything. It's also made out of 18 gauge steel. I think this is probably 20, which is fine, I guess. But the biggest thing here is this is not radiused right here like it's supposed to be. So what I'm gonna do is from the old rear quarter, I'm gonna flap this back and I'm gonna cut this off probably somewhere in here, leaving that hole because that's for the mud guard. And that way I've got this radius that's supposed to be there. So I'll just have to weld it in and everything. All right, here we go. I've got this thing marked. If I were to do a butt weld, I would be cutting this right here along that line, but I've decided not to do that. I'm gonna cut it here and allow that much of an overlap to do a spot weld across there. You know, this panel being on top of the other one, because that metal, you know, the gauge of that is so thin, it's just gonna take very little filler right there to smooth that out. So, and that'll be a strong weld as well, much cleaner. All right, here we go. All right, what I've done here is I drew a line so that when I put this thing on, I know where it needs to come to as far as the overlap, because I'm cutting this panel down across here. It's going to be overlapping this piece. So that's why that's just a reference mark. All right, here we go. All right, I got 8 good spot welds across there. I don't think it's going to come off. So now I'm just going to rust reform the back side of this, and that's it. That was pretty simple, actually. All right. All right, there it is from the show side. So I'm going to have to put some fiberglass cloth and resin here, because that's got to be covered up. That's no problem though. because I'm gonna end up filling this with short strand in here and finessing that, and it'll be, you'll never know that that was patched in. All right. All right, I got some fiberglass cloth and resin over top of those weld seams there. And it looks messy, but it'll clean up. It is kind of messy though. And I put a second coat of the resin over top of these areas here, so that strengthen that. Let's see, so over here, yeah, I already talked about this. I'm gonna let this sit overnight. Guess I can go ahead and put the self-etching primer on this since it's bare metal, and get that taken care of. Next item on the list is to replace the body bushings. So that's where I am right now. And once that's done, probably tomorrow, I'll begin to put the fender on. I don't know if I'm gonna put the inner fender well in first or the fender. Probably put the fender on first so I can get it welded up here. And I might even do the spot weld thing here as well. Just because I can, because I've got the spot welder over there. And I might overlap the panel onto this and spot weld it. I'm just thinking out loud, so I don't know. I'll think about it. All right. All right, I decided to wait till tomorrow to get into the body mounts because I still have to remove this one back here and double check, make sure I have all the hardware I need. But so instead of that, I decided to sand the filler back that I did yesterday, I believe. And I noticed that this part of the panel kind of turns in. It's not that it's low over here. The panel actually is turning in. So I'm not sure, other than a little low spot I feel there and here. I'm probably not going to do anything more with that because it, you know, you'd have to put in quite a bit of body, although it's not really supposed to come out to the edge of this kind of trim piece, but you can still see how it sort of turns in there. But you don't want to get too thick with the body filler. It can create problems. So, but everything else is looking relatively flat. Got a high spot here. That's fiberglass that I put over a weld seam on a repair. So what I'm gonna have to do is just finesse that panel with some filler to even things out. You can't really knock that back at this point. So anyway, did the same thing to the other side. I won't go over there and show you, but got a lot done today. So tomorrow I'll probably start off by doing the body mounts, get those out of the way, and then I'll start putting this side together. So hopefully by Friday this will all be buttoned up and in the final stages of sanding, filling, then priming, then block sanding. So all right, we'll catch you guys next time. Later.